Well, what it do, everyone? Got some great leaks today. Don't want to bury the lead. We got a pretty sweet view of Hell. We have had a look at her before, but we have a few other assets to show this time. Alright, this little mood board caused me a little trouble, but if we look in, here's a bunch of the art they were looking for when they were beginning the character design. I can't really say I'm familiar with much of them, except for the one from Thor. But I will say, all of it looks pretty sick. You can definitely see the inspiration where they kind of have, I don't want to call it an X-ray, but the view of the skeleton through everything. Over here too. I'm gonna move myself out of the way for this one. Thought I could combine this for an easier view, but basically you see one of the first iterations on the left, and then you have some notes, presumably from Dane, the art director, on how he wants to see him changed, and on the right hand side you can kind of see some of the sketches that he overdrew onto the original concept art. Basically he's just listing 6 changes that he thinks they can make, or things to keep, I guess. He notes that they can use the leggings, so you can kind of see number 1 here, kind of has the purple arrow over here. I won't go through all of them, you can see it on the screen here, but we'll point out that number 2, the hood and twisted root branch, is their preferred take to make her original. So that's something that they wanted to add a little flair of their own, and Dane just notes they want to make it much bigger and wrapping around even more. So basically they want to put their own touch on characters and make sure that their own touches are well pronounced. Sorry, having some technical difficulties today, so there might be some awkward cuts. Basically here we have the next iteration of the Hell concept art. Something we talked about before is them reutilizing assets to help speed along the character design process, but they'll use them in different ways. So you can see the cape a la Fisher King for the tendrils effect. So they probably have something similar going on with the way the cape flows between the Fisher King and Hell. Not much else to go over here. You can see how much the concept lines up with the final design with the blue over here. What you don't see is the sweet glow and other special effects they put on. She has an awesome staff, which if you read through the notes on the other concept art, they spoke about having the crystals carry through her character. You can see him on the branch here, and we'll see it on the special ability that was teased in the thumbnail. Before moving on, one thing I noticed and wanted to zoom in and appreciate, the face, the skeleton half looks so sick in the concept art. Now that we went through all the concept art, just wanted to come back and appreciate the character model. How awesome the finished product came out. The glowing special effects that you don't get from the concept art. Oop. Of course the video ends right when I'm calling it out. Skeleton side still looking awesome. The glowing eye. Really badass design. Moving on from the character design, we get to see the concept of, well, the mock-up of one of her abilities, and then we'll get to see the actual ability. I'm gonna take a guess at the name, Roots of Yggdrasil. Basically you can see it looks like an AoE. She summons these forces to come up and attack all the opponents. One thing I noticed playing back through it, you can see this is the charge of the effect. Here's the actual strike of it hitting the enemies. And then I believe that says Shatter. Spoiler alert, I've seen the ability. And then the fade out. I'm not sure if this is maybe part of her next skill, but something's gonna have an explosion, so looking forward to that. Here we have the actual ability. It's the charge we talked about, the strike, explosion, and the fade out. I think it looks real badass. We're gonna play through it again without me talking over it and ruining it. Looks great, and this obviously isn't the finished game product. Sound effects really drive home. You can feel the hit, but you can see none of the characters really react. And I'm sure that's something that'll be fixed in-game. Moving on from Hell, we do have a couple other leaks. You can see the Gog Magog character screen. Another sweet looking hero. I kind of zoomed through it quick, but I did want to call out one thing. Now, he is a giant, and one of the questions we had was how big the giants would be in-game compared to other characters. And I just wanted to freeze frame here and look at him towering over the flag banner in the background. And if we switch back to the Hell example, well, you can see her standing up. Obviously, it's a different setting, different camera position, but you can just tell he is towering over that banner. So I think it's going to be real interesting seeing him in game, how much he towers over the other champions. And to wrap things up, we have a few more skills. We have all what looks like Isis's skills. Now, obviously, still haven't even hit the alpha yet at the time of releasing this video. So all of these skills, everything shown so far is subject to change. But I think it's cool getting a look at the skills finally. We have Ancestral Appropriation, it's our basic. Attack one enemy for X damage with a 35% chance to steal a random buff. Then spread one random buff on this hero to all allies. Buff spreads are always pretty useful, so looks like a pretty strong A1. You can see it's a pretty basic attack. Still looks pretty sweet with the glowing wand and strike, but not too much to write home about, just a basic. Here we have her core ability. Ankhaven. Place a shield on allies, then place defense up 2 on all allies for 3 turns. Grants this hero an extra turn. Looks like this is on a 6-turn cooldown. We don't know about... they said in one of the videos it's not books. I think they said they have scrolls. So it looks like it's a 6-turn cooldown. Maybe it can scroll down more, but grants this hero an extra turn. So basically it's automatically down to a 5-turn cooldown, if that is what that is. And again, it's not a hitting ability, so looks like a standard support ability. You can almost see this healing glow, but obviously it's granting a shield and a buff. And finally, we have Isis's ultimate. Divine Intervention. Revive all allies with 50% HP and 50% turn meter. If Horus is revived by this ability, places Radiance 2 on him for 2 turns. So you can already see that there's going to be hero pairing. So she already gets, well, I guess Horus gets the benefit of it, but she benefits Horus if they're on the same team. And it looks like a pretty strong revive. 50% HP and 50% turn meter. You have a decent chance to get your turn in after being revived. I'm not sure what these symbols are. I'm guessing it costs 1,000 divinity, but just throwing out a guess there. And again, this isn't a hitting ability, so won't see her strike the opponents, but get a pretty sweet revive animation. can see the typical healing glow. Pretty sweet looking ability. Personally, I'm a bigger fan of the strikes. Get to see the big hits, the big explosions, but still looks great. Thank you for watching. There is one more quick clip. It's kind of a mood board for the visual direction of the VFX that they want to take. I'm gonna get myself out of the way so you can see it better. And I'm just gonna kind of outro, let this play through. It's a quick look at all the different elements and where they got their ideas and bases for on how they want those elements to interact and the VFX to look.